YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. We've got another track guide for the Advanced MX5 series on iRacing. It's week 3 of season 2 of 2021, Oulton Park Fosters. Let's jump right in. Let's drive. Loading, 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 we're loading, 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 we're loading, loading, loading. Alright guys, so here we are, we're in the session. Again, as always, from this point moving forward, I'm going to be using the VRS settings to test, to do the lap, do all that good stuff. As you can see, ambient temperature 18 degrees C, track temperature 19 degrees C, so fairly cold. A little bit windy, quite gusty there. And then all the standard stuff. Testing has moderate usage, 50% track usage. If we have a look at the setup here, it is one I've made for Oulton Park Fosters. It's a decent little setup. I'm not going to say it's the best setup I've ever made. However, it gets the lap times, and that's what's the most important thing for me. If you would like to download the setup, you can just hop into the Discord. There's a link in the description down below. It's going to be available along with the olap, the blap, and telemetry data, if that's what you're into. Let's just jump right into the car. Let's drive. Okay. Coming out this pit lane, beginning our journey around this quite frustrating track for me, to be perfectly honest with you. Just awkward turns that take a bit of practice, I guess, to get used to figure out. But we'll get there, and we'll set a decent little lap time, I believe. Woohoo! As we run a bit deep into turn number 3 there. Knickerbrook, flat out, as always, on Oulton Park Fosters, super easy. Now we're going up the hill, past Water Tower, and then into Druids, the double right-hander, for our first experience, really, of how we're going to be driving this car. Downshifting very early, stab at the brakes, and then just sort of coasting into the corner. And now down the little bumpy back straight into the last turn, which you can take in 3rd gear, or you can downshift to 2nd and then short shift up to 3rd. Personally, the double downshift, short shift up to 3rd is the quicker option, as you get to utilise the engine braking, take a tighter line. And here's the awkward turn 1. And that right there, ooh, that was actually clean. I thought I was going to say that's why I hate Oulton Park, but we managed to keep it on track. Turn number 2 is just a lift, keeping it nice and tight, trying to line up on the left-hand side for this sharp, awkward right-hander. Got on the power quite abruptly there, and the back end started to step out. As you can see, the setup, as I say, not perfect. A little bit too much oversteer in the slower turns. And we're already up the hill, past Water Tower again, and then into Druids. Braking, downshifting, coasting, powering, up to 4th gear before the crest. The turns just come at you thick and fast. Last turn, we're braking a car length after that sign on our left. Let's try it in 3rd again. Just glancing the curb on the inside. Didn't get a good run out. Turn number 1. Braking point for turn number 1. There's a little kink in the road. About now. Ooh, missed turn 1. And be very careful on the exit of turn 1. Again, you can only sort of straddle the curb. You can't go too deep. Little lift, keeping it tight. Power back on. Braking just before the grass starts. Down to 2nd gear. Ooh, catching the car that time. As I'm going around the track, just making mental notes. Did I brake too late for that turn? Too early? Did I get on the power a bit too sharply that time? These are things that I apply to every track, any car. It's how I learn how to drive round tracks. It's something that I think people don't necessarily spend too much time doing, you know, evaluating as they go. And once again, ooh, that downshift. Look at the braking distance. Look how much it cut that braking distance down. Definitely dropping it down to 2nd is the play. What I was saying before I interrupted myself was something people need to pay attention to. Ooh, that was nice. That was saucy. Is using all of the track. if you use all of the track as well, you're going to save seconds and seconds. Definitely a must. Tried to be a bit smoother on the power, but I realised that too late. So it was a bit of a on-off. Not ideal, not ideal. But I hope at this point you're getting a feel for the track, you're getting a feel for how I like to learn tracks. And after I finish this lap, I'm going to fast forward until I've hit an absolute banger, and we're going to break it down in full detail as we understeer wide off Druids. Third, second, bleed off the brakes, power, shift up to third, catch it, woo! Okay, not bad, not bad. Not a great lap, but not bad at all. 106.0, okay. So now we're just going to hop on forward. Talk to you guys in a bit. Well, alright then, chaps. I apologise for the lack of audio in the previous clip. Just the way it goes sometimes. But what we've got is we have an absolute banger of a lap for you, a 105.837. We're going to break it down. First of all, we're coming across the line, we're in 4th gear, and we're heading into turn number 1, lining up on the left-hand side of the track. And as you can see, as I spoke about earlier, there's this kink in the grass. That's what I use as my braking marker. You can also use this sign here, Jordan Bikes. Mentioned it before in previous track guides. It's a great little marker. And we're going to be braking fairly hard, but quite short in terms of time. We're just using this to get our car sort of to the correct speed-ish, there or thereabouts, but more to get the car pivoted, heading towards the inside curb. As you can see, we're going to try and excuse me, we're going to try and straddle this curb. That's the goal. And we want to be on full power. We want to be full throttle by the time we get to this position. One of the most important things is to be full throttle at this point. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to play it through at full speed from cockpit. Stab at the brakes, get the car turned in, power, power, power. And as you can see, on this time round, I am comfortably within the track limits. As I mentioned previously, one of my bugbears about this track is not being able to use the full... Not being able to use all of the off-run of the track, which, you know, your car would handle fine on. Just something that doesn't make sense in my mind, but obviously white lines are the track limits, so this is comfortably within the track limits, as you can see, straddling the white line perfectly. We can just go back and watch this one more time from chase cam. As you can see, it's just an awkward turn. I'm not going to say I got this absolutely perfect. There is definitely more time in this. I'd say you can probably carry more speed into this than I did. However, it is a very, very solid first turn to build on. And so we're up to 4th gear as we come out of the corner, heading down the hill into turn number 2, keeping it to the far right-hand side of the track. And at this point, as we go down this small crest here, you may just be able to see that, or you can see this green and white striped marker on the end of the barrier. That's where the crest is. That's our signal to sort of begin turning into turn number 2. And for turn number 2 on Oulton Park Fosters, you just want to lift to get more weight on the front of the car, to allow you to turn more, to keep the car very, very tight throughout the entire turn, and tight on the exit as well, as you want to be lining up on the left-hand side of the track for the exit. So let's just watch it through. Nice little lift, and then power back on. And then we're already nicely set up for turn number 3. If we just watch that back real quick in the chase cam, there's not too much we need to sort of mention. Just lifting, getting on the curb on the inside, and getting back on the power when we're ready to go. And this leads us nicely, as I say, into turn number 3. I like to use this little triangle of the white line here as a braking point for turn number 3. That's where I brake, and we're going to be braking down to 2nd gear, and we want to be heading towards this curb on the left-hand side of the track. We want to be in second gear by the time we get to this curb. And when we get to this curb, without touching it, we want to then begin turning in to the right-hander. So let's just play it through slowly. Down to third, down to second, turning in, trying to avoid hitting the curb on the inside, just here. We don't really want to clip this too much. We can get our tyres on this bit of the curb, just here, the first step of it. But this second step, the real sausage part of the curb, we don't want to touch that. So as you can see, at this point, bleeding off the brakes, and then I'm going to begin to get on the power very shortly. There you go. Let's watch it back one more time, in slow-mo. We can see the throttle traces, we're braking hard, down to second gear, we begin to come off the brake as we begin to turn, and we just blend it nicely. Bleeding off the brake, putting the throttle back on. But you want to get on full power reasonably early here. So one more time, in chase cam, just so we can get the full picture. Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. Up to third gear very shortly after we come out of that turn. And we're up to third, as I say, heading into Knickerbrook, flat out, keeping it nice and tight, up to fourth gear, nice and smooth, up this hill, it's all flat out, super basic here. It's just taking a nice smooth line as we head into Druids. Now at this point, I'm going to say this is classed as the entry to Druids for me. Just keep your car nice and tight on the left-hand side of the track, just here. And we're looking at this dirt, this dust on the track. That's what we're looking out for. That's going to be our braking point. As you can see, just as we come up to it, I'm basically pressing the brake. So braking, using that stabbing motion that we used for turn number 1 as well, we're going to brake down to third gear, and we're going to try and drift the car up to this first curb, the first apex. It is a double apex right-hander. So I'm going to play it through slowly. Braking, there's the stabbing motion, off the brakes, and we're coasting now until we get close to the curb. Just play that back again. You can see I've got no input on the pedals at all, which I wouldn't normally advise. However, round here it seems to work very nicely for these awkward turns. So to stab, coast, power, and then keep it pinned. Up to fourth gear as we get close to the second apex, the second curb on the inside. Just going to play it back full speed. Stab, third gear, power. Glance that curb up to fourth, and just nice and smooth on the exit. It is very simple when you watch it back full speed. However, in practice, it is going to take you a few tries to get this right. Especially when you figure out how to use all the track, trying to get that balance right, and watch out for the understeer on the exit of Druids. That is crucial. And now we're already heading down into the final turn. Braking point for this is after this sign. We want to wait until our car's about a car length past this sign. Normally, you will be able to see some dust on the track. However, it's not here in these track conditions. So let's just play it through. Bang. Down to third. Slamming it down to second gear. Diving into the turn because we're in second gear. We get that extra rotation. And then just before we hit the curb, we're up to third gear and we're full power already. Because we've got third gear, we've got extra traction. We can be more aggressive on the power. This crest would normally make your car spin. However, again, third gear, it's going to work out all fine. We just catch the car nice and easy, using all of the track on exit, and we're done. It's that simple. A very awkward track, broken down in quick segments here for you. Remember to brake very hard for this last turn, and the short shift is the key in my opinion. Slamming it down to second gear for this last turn, it will save you time. A lot of time when you get it right. Bang, bang. And then power. Lovely stuff. And then it's just heads up, taking the line of least resistance until we cross the line with a time of 105.837. Celebratory little crash here. Wow, that's a big one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Catch you next week. Enjoy.